and Aidan Turner have joined us. So nice to have some company in the studio. So, very exciting. It was announced earlier that you two are going to be starring in a play together called, let me get this right now, Lemons, 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 Lemons. Five lemons, yeah. And the tagline says, a love story that leaves you speechless. So, Aidan, I'm going to give you the job of explaining all.
How many words? How many words?
Well, you choose.
OK, let me see how many I can do it in. So the play is about a couple, Oliver and Bernadette, who live together at a time when a piece of legislation, a law has been passed, something called the Hush Law, where they're only allowed to have everyone in the country, 140 words per day to use. So I think the play is about how we communicate, what are the things we would say to each other, who would we talk to, and how would we speak to each other and communicate.
It's a very different premise for a play, isn't it? Something we've never heard of before. Jenna, how did your agent sell this to you? Because, you know, you imagine the conversation, well, it's not really a big speaking part. You must have thought, hang on, what's going on here?
I guess effectively it's, it's a play which each day the couple has 140 words. So, yeah, it's a play about not being able to speak or communicate or express, or it's the way in which you choose to do that, which I think is obviously where it becomes much more interesting. It's what's chosen to be said and how to say it and what's left between the silences and the spaces in between. And it's, in a way, it's a study and an exploration of a relationship and how that brings Oliver and Bernadette together and apart, and, you know, work-life balance, what's chosen to be said at work, what chooses to be said at home, how many words do you use up and say for your partner. Yeah, so it's we kind of meet them at very different stages of this relationship and see the effect it has upon them.
It's quite a useful
There was a lot of words.
There was a lot of words. I'm such a talker. I'm going to be, this is terrible.
I would be hopeless, but it's quite an interesting thing to put into practice for a spell, isn't it? And see how you get on. It must have made you, Aidan, reassess the way you communicate to a point.
Well, I think I'd like to try it. I haven't yet. I keep sort of flirting with the notion of let's see how I get on with 140 words. It sounds like it's something you could do, but I think it'd be quite frustrating. But yeah, I think you'd reflect quite heavily on yourself. Who would you speak to? What are the things you would say? Would it make you a nicer person? Is there still anger and hate and all these things, bouncing around if you only have a certain amount of words? Would you waste your time with those kind of emotions? I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe in writing emails, because sometimes we can all go off on a tangent, and maybe the thing to do is to...
rein it in.
Rein it in.
I'm with you on that.
Where do the lemons come into it, Jenna?
The lemons are... It's a scene. There's a certain scene in the play where Oliver has effectively used all his words up. And I suppose it's quite a destructive... Bernadette decides to use her words and waste her words. And I guess it's a vent, like venting.
Yeah, and 5 when you've only got 140.
Yeah, 5
That's a big statement, isn't it?
Frit away on lemons in a very brilliant speech that Sam Steiner has written.
So you two aren't even in rehearsals yet, because this is right at the beginning. But it comes to the West End in the new year, and then it travels, doesn't it, all around the country?
It does. We go to Manchester first, I think. What are our Manchester dates?
We go to... no, I don't remember the dates.
Brighton and Manchester.
We're Brighton and Manchester.
Yes.
Yeah, and you were up for that, Jenna. That was part of the appeal for you.
Yeah, well, Manchester is... I'm from Blackpool originally, so Manchester is, for me, where when I was growing up, used to go to the theatre all the time in Manchester.
I mean, could you not convince them to go to Dublin, Aidan?
That might be a thought. The producers are backstage. I might have a word straight after. That'd be a good date, yeah.
This is what you need to do.
I think you're right.
I mean, with what you know already, and of course it's early days, and it's quite weird to have you sitting here talking about it, because of course you two haven't worked together on this yet. But in your head, I'm going to give you 3 words, Aidan, to sum it up. I know you knew this was coming.
Not enough words.
Oh, very good.
There you go, take that.
Well, the play starts at the Harold Pinter Theatre in London from the 18th of January, and then we'll travel to the Manchester Opera House and then on to Theatre Royal Brighton from the 21st of March until the 1st of April. Quite the run. Yeah. And we have to say congratulations, Gemma, because we've also heard that The Sandman is back on Netflix. 2nd series.
Yes.
Jenna, that's good news. People will be wanting to know when you're starting to film.
See, this is when I became speechless because I'm instantly terrified I will get in any form of trouble by saying anything. But it has been renewed for a second series, which is great, and great for Sandman fans out there.
Any spoilers you
No
can share?
spoilers
Nothing?
to share.
No,
Suddenly
look,
I've gone speechless.
Jenna's very careful. She's not saying
unfair.
anything, but it's good news. It's lovely to have you both. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Last night we caught up with